Whoa, I'm looking a little awfully rough. I'm not quite sure why I'm looking like this right now. Good thing that's not the point of this video. Hey guys, it's Julia back with another video. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome to my channel. It's September now, which means Common App is in full swing. And if you just clicked on this video because you love me and you have no clue what Common App is, it's a system that high schoolers in the US right now and anyone who wants to go to college in the US are scrambling right now to fill out some Common App. Before I get into this video, I want to preface, I am no professional. I am not a college counselor. I don't have credentials to be doing this, but I am now past the Common App stage. I did apply to a whopping 21 colleges last year through the Common App. Well, one of them wasn't, but 20 were. I definitely had my fair share of going through the Common App, but that's why I'm here today as a survivor, a person to come and give you guys as much advice and everything that I learned going through the process, so you can take some of the things I learned and apply them to yourselves and hopefully be in a better position than I was. Let me give you guys like a preface on like what I did. I applied to 21 schools, 20 on Common App. It was a lot. I was top 5% of my class, and my junior year a 4.5 weighted and a 4.0 unweighted. I was president of my class, I played 2 sports, I did clubs, I have my own business, I do music management stuff, just a bunch of stuff, and still it didn't work in my favor because I don't think I worked the Common App the right way, which is why I'm here to give you guys advice that I learned that I think will help you work the Common App the better way. I can't say that like I did still get into some good schools. You can watch my whole college application video if you want to. Anyway, I'm gonna stop yapping about myself. If you came to this video and you're like, oh my god, she's not gonna be able to help me because her stats have nothing to do with this video. It's literally just like advice that can help you guys. Whatever your stats are, you can still use this advice. Start getting into some of my like top 10, more will probably come as I'm talking, tips on the scary Common App. My first one, which is kind of like a given, is start early. I know so many people that waited until the last minute to write their essay, their supplementals, their extracurriculars, like literally everything. And I think that's where a lot of people I know fumbled. Like people didn't have ideas, so they put it off and put it off and put it off. At this point, it's like late September, so if you haven't started, I would say after you watch this video and take your notes and hear my advice, probably get started as soon as you possibly can if you haven't already. I started writing my essay end of junior year. I didn't get my final idea until my early senior year. The idea is not the only thing. Like you can have your idea for months and it's useless to you if you don't write the freaking essay. For me, it took so many drafts to get my final essay, and looking back on it, I don't even think I liked my final essay. Like I think it's kind of like I just didn't make use of my time. I also spent so much time on my essay that I ended up kind of like jacking my supplementals and like everything else a little bit. My best advice for your essay is write essays. Start writing and see where it goes. If you've started writing something and you're like, not my thing, move to the next thing. Start writing, not my thing, move to the next thing, because that's how eventually you'll get the topic that you like. And it won't come right away, and that's what I'm saying. Starting early is so beneficial to you. The earlier you start, the earlier you finish, the more time you have to revise. Same thing with supplementals. What I did, which did help me in the end, write out all the schools that I was applying to and put all the supplementals that I needed to fill out into every single one. The essay is really important, but the supplementals are just as important, if not more important, because they're catering to the school. You're literally sitting there to appeal to the school, especially school specific supplementals like business school, law schools, freaking engineering school, whatever. You need to cater as much as possible to your supplemental. That means finding out what clubs the schools have, finding out what extra opportunities each school gives you, finding out this and that, so you can write that into there, kind of express what you want to gain from it, and not just write a bunch of copy and paste for every single business school, every single chemistry school, whatever, because they know that. They see that. Just set about an hour a day. Do your best to fill out your Common App in the gaps and spaces that you aren't doing anything else.
Also, quick bonus tip that I didn't include because I forgot. If the school you're applying to has the option to apply early action, which is like the November 1st deadline usually, sometimes October 15th, do it. It heightens your chances so much of getting into a school. If you don't take the early action opportunity, you're being dumb. You're wasting your time even more.
Which ties into my next tip. Do your freaking research. I had to move over a little bit because I didn't like the lighting. But do your research on schools. And that means for every individual school you're applying to, do your research. Like I said before, you want to include the research and the things you know about the school in your supplementals. But also you need to know if you can afford the school. You need to know if the school you're applying to is worth your time at all. You need to know more than what you think you need to know. I made the mistake of applying to a bunch of schools that I was like, yeah, I can probably get into, probably will get money, will probably be able to go to. No. I couldn't afford half the schools I applied to. More than half. If you're in a position where you can afford any school you want to apply to, it gets a little different, like it gets a little easier. You still want to do your research and try to understand which schools will be the best for you. But if you know you're one of those people, no shame, no game, I couldn't either afford every single school, you need to do your research. You need to figure out if they give good scholarships. You need to figure out if they have good financial aid. Do your research, so much research. For University of Arizona, it has a high acceptance rate, but they give merit scholarships. If you have a 4.0 GPA, you automatically get 35 grand a year from the school, which is a lot of money. Some would even say cheaper than in-state tuition. That's what I'm saying when do your research. Look at how much the schools give. Look at if they have guaranteed tuition. Some schools, you'll get in for a price, and the next year when the school gets more expensive, your tuition gets more expensive. That is not guaranteed tuition. Guaranteed tuition is when you get into a school, you get a tuition slapped in your face, and that tuition is the same tuition for the next 4 years. There's a lot of schools that don't do that. There are so many little nitpicky things that you don't know. The next thing is make sure your recommendations make sense. If you are applying as a business major, do not ask your science teacher for a recommendation. Well, if they're the only teacher that like you, like maybe that's like a good idea. But if you have a business or a math teacher that likes you, why would you ask a STEM teacher if you're a business major? It depends on what business, I can say that. Like if you're a chemistry major, why are you asking like an art or a reading teacher for a recommendation? It doesn't make sense. Make sure your recommendations make sense to what you're applying. You would think it doesn't matter, but it is something that I think factors into it. Along with this is like an extra tip, I guess. Make sure you ask early. If you don't already have your recommendation, ask tomorrow. Literally the second you see this video, because recommendations fill up quickly. I guess if you go to private school it's different, or if you go to a much smaller school it might be different. I don't know. I went to a big public school, like 500 people a grade type of public school, so you have to ask early. These teachers are getting so many requests, and at a certain point they're cutting it off. They're not gonna do more than 100 or whatever amount, probably less, probably like 50, maybe not even. They have hundreds of students. They're not gonna cater to everyone. I asked at the end of my junior year for recommendations. I was one of the first people to ask both of my teachers, if not the first person, and that's just because I had like the benefit of having a brother the year before that like didn't do that, and he told me to do that. So if you haven't asked for recommendations, forget about everything else, make that the next thing on your list. And when you're asking your teacher, don't be like, can I have a recommendation? Be like, no, I like really enjoyed your class, I really learned a lot, I would really be grateful and honored if you would write me a recommendation. If not, I totally understand, thank you again. That goes without saying, but again, it should be said just in case. The fourth tip is make your essay interesting and also make it a point. I see so many people try to write some elaborate essay with no end point that makes absolutely no sense at all, and I'm like, these people are reading hundreds of essays a day. They don't care. It is their job, but at the end of the day, they're gonna get bored. They want to hear how you grew from the story, what changed about you. Make the first 3 sentences a story. The rest should be about how it changed you and how it affected you and how you became a better person and how you're gonna take those 3 sentences and change your life because of it, or make yourself better because of it. Do not make 40 sentences the story and the last 2 sentences, this is how I will change now. It's a balance of storytelling and also getting to the damn point. The 5th thing is make sure your supplementals make sense and aren't like your essay. Do not repeat, reuse, and reuse. For schools, you can repeat, reuse, and reuse. You don't have to come up with a new idea for every single supplemental for each school. If the supplemental fits for one essay, you can copy, paste, edit, and use it the same thing, but do not make it so similar to your essay. Your supplementals are important. Please make sure you pay attention to them, because it's a great way to kind of cater them to your major, especially if you do go out of the box with essay. When it comes to supplementals, make it a little bit more connected to what you're applying for finding a good balance between everything. Number 6, make your application cohesive to what you want to do. If you have a gazillion extracurriculars or just a lot of extracurriculars, pick and choose the ones that make the most sense. Make everything cohesive about your application. Your extracurriculars should make sense to your major. The whole point of college applications is to show the person you're applying to that you are passionate and you are going to make something of yourself if you go to this school. This is what you want to do. You have to pretend. Even if you don't know what you want to do, pretend. Play the damn cards. Pretend. College applications are literally all an act about, oh, look at me, I'm this and that, that's why you should take me. Number 7 is also word your extracurriculars really well. I think they give you like 80 characters, something to like 80 to 100 or whatever like that to describe your extracurricular. You need to describe them with action words. Good words. Not too big that you sound like you're trying too hard, but good action words. You're given 80 characters for a reason because they don't give a shit. They just want to see, they want to understand. All right, got it. If the title is business club and you put we worked in business with others, great, thank you. But then if you say we collaborated on business cases amongst peers, I hope you get what I'm saying. Definitely make use of those 80 characters. Use those 80 characters to your advantage. They will help you. Also rank them the right way. Order them in the way of importance. It says it on the comment app to order them in the way of importance because they're gonna read them in the way of importance. Number 8. Ask older students and teachers for advice. I cannot tell you how long the email strands between me and some of my AP Lang teacher were, some of the text strands between people in the grade above me were. I was asking everybody. I was constantly talking to people, asking people to review stuff for me. Ask the people older than you. The people older than you have already done it. Your teachers have seen years of people go through it. Like, there are people more knowledgeable out there. Use them to your advantage. Ask them for help. It's not an embarrassing thing. When my friends that are seniors now are asking me for help, I'm nothing but happy to help them. I have lessons to learn. Asking for help is not an embarrassing or bad thing. It is actually the best thing you can do for yourself. Number 8, don't rely so heavily on financial aid and merit scholarships and even outside scholarship. It's a very competitive field. College applications are getting more and more competitive by the year, and I saw a lot of my friends that thought they were gonna get full financial aid packages get 0. Myself, I didn't get a lot of merit. Don't rely on those scholarships. I would say outside scholarships are a better way to go. There are a lot of scholarships that you can apply to. Those I would definitely highly recommend. Apply for those more, but they're still not something to bank on. Do not apply to a school that is $80,000 a year out of your budget. Really, it makes not a singular ounce of sense. I think financial aid is definitely a little bit more reliable. If you just do your research even a little bit, you can probably figure out how much you'd get. Merit scholarships, school scholarships are very harder. They're getting more and more competitive every single year. Take it with a grain of salt. Do not apply too far out of your budget. And number 10, quality over quantity. Take it from the girl that applied to 21 schools. Quality over quantity. And to be real, I applied to so many schools because I wanted to make a college getting into video for you guys, and I wanted it to be entertaining, and I also just wanted to see, and I knew I had a good, safe backup option if I didn't get into a lot of schools. I kind of did it because I was able to, and I took advantage of that. But if you know you are really trying to target some specific schools, don't just apply to 10 more schools for dits and dats. You can literally apply to 5 schools, put so much energy into those schools, and then spend all the rest of your time applying to scholarships, applying to internships, applying to anything just to better yourself, and or focus on school and just have fun instead of like literally losing your mind over these applications. The less the better. If you really want to apply to schools out of your reach, out of your cost, out of anything, pick 1 or 2. No more than 2. The rest should be all reasonable schools that if you get into, you can probably go to. Do not do more than 2 because it makes no sense. The highlight of this video, do your research, work hard, and be realistic. Those are the 3 main things. I hope you guys were able to get something out of this video, or if you want any like other tips and advice, definitely let me know. I have a lot to say and a lot of thoughts. If you do want to go watch my college getting into video where I really went into a lot of my stats and extracurricular, I will put it in the I tag. You can probably find it easily if you just search it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you subscribe and hit that post notification bell so you never miss another video, and follow my Instagram and my TikTok. Both of them are linked down in the description below and on the screen right now. I love you guys so unbelievably much. Peace out.